Evening, this is James Doyle. I'm showing off my CSC 471 final project. The project itself is a utility that goes along with the 1998 video game for the PlayStation called Xenogears. Now, in that game, they have a type of strong attack that your characters can learn throughout the game called a death blow. And each character can learn a number of death blows. But in order to do that, you have to use a combination of regular moves that are not death blows. So you have to use triangle for weak attacks, square for strong attacks, and X for fierce attacks. And you have to do them a certain number of times to learn each death blow. But the game itself doesn't do a very thorough job of showing you how much you need to do to learn the remaining death blows. This screenshot comes from the death blow learning screen in-game, and you can see it just shows you the moves that you can do that you already know, along with the general progress bar towards learning the death blows you don't know yet. But all you see is a percentage complete. You don't know which moves you still need to do. So you could sit there with this one at 96% and have it stall at 96% while you do all kinds of moves, except for the one that you happen to need to do. So this app is designed to kind of be a way to keep track of your progress as you play the game. So let me show the app real quick. I've got it running here in the simulator. So throughout the actual game, you're normally going to have 3 party members in your party at any given point in time, and each of them has their own progress towards their own death blows. So for now, I'm going to set up my party as if I had Faye, Ellie, and Satan in my party. And you can do that from that switch character screen or add character screen. So what we've got here is a tab view on the bottom that's basically maintaining the whole app, a tab bar view as it's called. And then each of these 3 tabs has different things that you can do with the program. So this tracking tab, which we started on, is where you set up your current in-game party to match what is showing in the app and where you log your actual attacks. Then the status tab here is going to show how much progress you still need to make towards your various death blows for each of the characters. And finally, the Save Load tab, we'll get into in a little bit. That's where we can persist your progress to the file system. So when you first come into the app, you're on that tracking screen, and as I showed, I kind of created a party. So let's say we're going to go ahead and we're going to do an attack for Faye. So we'd click on him, and that takes us over to this this input screen we call the attack sequence input. And on it, we have a certain number of AP available. And right now, Faye is level 1. He only has 3 AP. So that means he can do up to 3 triangle moves, up to 1 square move and 1 triangle move, since the square costs 2 AP, or just 1 single X move, since that costs all 3 AP. So for now, let's say he does triangle, triangle, triangle. I input it there. It shows up on screen. It says, do I want to complete that as shown? I say yes, and we move on. But let's take a look at the status screen here as well. So on the status screen, you can see all of the different characters in the game, 2 of whom don't learn death blows. And we'll look at Faye, the main character, and you can see all the different death blows he can learn, along with the remaining experience he needs for each different type of move. And as you can see, there are 4 types of triangle moves, 2 types of square moves, and only 1 type of X move. So the game doesn't tell you any of that. So if it saw this, it might show that you're 75% along the way towards completing Raijin, but in fact, you know you only need to do triangle 1 and X in order to learn it. So when you're playing the game, you might decide to use a move like square triangle, which gets you a square 1 and a triangle 2. Well, that wouldn't help you at all. So we would say instead, well, let's do a triangle, and that gets us a triangle 1 move. So that will help us along our way. So this kind of helps you know what you need to do to learn these death blows. And then finally, you've got a save load screen here, which again is another table view. I'm just going to go ahead and load this demo one here. So that's going to replace the current settings with what I had set up originally in the demo. In that case, Faye has quite a bit more experience than he had in the one we were just showing a minute ago. I've got him to level 29 with 6 AP. So if we go back into the tracking mode now, and we want to put in a sequence for him now, he's going to be able to put in a much longer sequence. So I can go square, triangle, X, and confirm that. Or maybe Faye has he wants to use a death blow that he knows already, like triangle X. In that case, he would use Raijin, and it'll warn you that you're not going to get credit for the final X, which is true when you execute a death blow. So basically, when you're done, you'd go back to save. You can choose either to put in a new file name down here, or you can just click overwrite, and it'll overwrite the existing file, updating the timestamp to the current time. So that's the application. It's really only useful for someone who's playing Xenogears, but for someone who is, it can be a good way of making sure you're efficiently using your moves.